Yeah. Okay. So, um, Dan Ivory Perkins. Yeah. Anyway, so you people, uh, don't know all the rules, and you get into trouble by persecuting others, and now, wow, without even anybody individually coming after you. Literally, it's reckoning day. Now I understand so many things from the Bible because I've read law. Like, if I hadn't read this, I really wouldn't understand half of that stuff that they say in the Bible. But anyway, so there's no protection for the persecutors. Sad. Um, Getting back down to whatever it was I was reading was this citizenship. Well, if you can't tell, I took a little break, listened to a little bit of what those videos were saying, just making sure I didn't get too far off base because we know I tend to prattle. So now I was saying stuff that would basically remove your obligation to citizenship. So I had just said getting dishonorably discharged, or not dishonored, other than honorable discharges. Okay, so I had a general discharge, and my general discharge basically, they were just saying that I really kind of wasn't good enough. But really, the only thing that happened was I got harassed, and I was going to tell on him. And actually, I did tell on him because I was tired of it. Like, at first, you could ignore it. And then this is probably why I don't like blue-eyed, blonde-haired men. Some captain told me, he was like, well, I don't believe you. And I was like, I don't care what you believe. Like, this is my life. I can't go nowhere. I can't do nothing else. I'm going to tell on him if he's bothering me. So, anyway, the persecutors do not get any clearances. That's sad for y'all. That's sad. Damn. I know a couple people that are really nice. That's sad. Anyway, so it tells how you can get rid of the naturalization and all this other stuff. But like I said, I got an invitation to court. So my invitation to court will allow me to basically just open air all of this. And that actually is I think it's stated in here. And in doing so, by the time that I leave court, and I wish I could actually find that particular session, by the time that I leave court, I don't know if they're cutting me a check or if they're just giving me a usable card until I transfer over whatever. But I am leaving with my accounts. That I absolutely do know. So, and it gives you, oh my goodness, this USC is so wonderful because it gives you a pretty much step-by-step of what to say when you're in court, letting them know that, it's just gotten so cold, letting them know that you're not going to comply anymore. That you don't have to, that you understand you don't have to, you're not going to comply, that you don't need them to be your trustee, your receiver, your executor, you don't need them for any representation whatsoever. And for the representation that they were providing was harmful and they had really neglected their duties as trustee that they appointed themselves by not doing a more simple thing of just simply canceling out the debt as a trustee should do. So by them not canceling out the debt and attempting to make your physical form suffer, your vessel, making your vessel suffer for it, and that is just misuse. That is treason. There went the judge. Were there lawyers standing there watching that? Were they witnesses to your vessel being violated? Treason. Yeah, court is going to be beautiful when I get there. Now, it says punishable after about 5 years, But the reality is, you really can ask how many sessions that they're handling today. And that right there, when they give you a number of more than one, is conspiracy. You just say, hey, I counted so many sessions that have already happened prior to me. That's conspiracy. So at that point, that's treason too. And if you can hit somebody with conspiracy, you can hit them with piracy. Piracy is a death penalty. And I think it's pretty immediate. Oh, and did I forget to tell you that you were governing your vessel? And as governor, your law. So when you say someone is getting hit with treason, and you're charging them with treason, they don't have a right in their vessel to be that. Not on the natural inhabitants' land. Their vessel does not have the right to be governor on the natural inhabitants' land. So, I am loving that I got an invitation because those 5 shareholders that own my corporation, that have stated that they were the trustees, they are allowing me to fall into harm. They are liable for that. And then, pretty much anybody else that has ever been in that position. You're allowing my vessel to fall into harm. So there's a whole lot of stuff and a whole lot of recourse that can have. Oh my goodness, they tell you the recourse. So they give you so much information that I started this out, and I just really wanted to give the basics about, how you would be free from the system. And I guess I really covered a whole lot of it. There are so many things that I didn't cover because there are so many technical things that happen in each one of these sections, and you need to be aware of all of the possibilities. You need to be aware of each different way that they can create business, enterprise, or corporation from you. Each way that they can find to access you financially in whatever manner. You need to figure all of that out. So please read everything in the USC and everything that it refers you toward, because there is no information that will not yield a positive result for you. Even negative information will let you know where you are wasting time so that you don't have to waste it. I don't know what else really. I think now I really have run into, we're not run into, but more so, I think I really have pretty much given everything that I can in the most general way, because all of the rest of these areas, they combine to tell you basically how to handle each separate function of these government offices and what you need to yield from each one. So, like the comp controller, they basically are looking at your accounts anytime your name comes up, and they're like, okay, well, whose jurisdiction does this fall under? So you fall under the Federal Reserve for a couple of different reasons, or you could fall under the I think it's the Office of Thrift Spending on another area, and then there's like something else with charitable causes or hospital insurance. But there's just these different things that, are you funding these things or are you not funding these things? Like, I'm pretty certain I've been funding hospitals for all of my life long, and I don't think I've been to one maybe 3 times. Maybe. I don't think more than 3 times. Um and it's never been paid for. So if I'm paying hospital insurance, why is it not kicked in? And it's not kicked in because you're not properly classified. If you were properly identified and verified, these insurances that you are already paying into, you could go to the hospital and they wouldn't say jack to you. They'd just be like, okay, let me make sure that we get you recorded properly. And they wouldn't be in there saying that you got to leave at a certain what is it, ceiling. They wouldn't put a cap on how much you can spend because you would be limitless. Your auto insurance, you shouldn't be buying auto insurance whatsoever. None of us should be paying some third party auto insurance. None of us should be paying a third party healthcare insurance. None of us should be paying homeowners insurance. Nobody. No one. No one should be making house payments. There is a whole lot that is happening here because we're not properly classified. A whole lot. And we're not even talking about exchanging monies or not exchanging monies. Let me stop saying that. That was a horrible term. We're not even talking about your, what do you call that? Non-essentials. All of your essentials should be paid for. A great deal of your non-essentials should be paid for as well. And then whatever you have as earnings, you should be able to do whatever you want with your earnings. Anything you want. You shouldn't be at the end of the year going, hey, wait a minute, I gotta pay these taxes and I'm gonna need to make sure I've got enough money to cover my taxes so they don't shut down my business. And that's a really, really crappy thing, that people don't know all of this. And they every year are hit with that stress. Like, oh my God, it's tax season. Like, my whole life is going to stop because it's tax season. The other thing is, people don't realize that every time you cha-ching swipe that card, they know where your money went. You don't have to do the personal accounting for it. They already know. You just need to get yourself properly classified so that they are forced to do the job that they're supposed to be doing. Because right now, the only thing they're doing is running around looking busy. So you think they're official. They're not official because they ain't doing nothing because you haven't told them nothing to do. Just as lost as you are is as lost as they are. And it's the time to start being clear. Stop being lost. Because they are kicking our butts. And people don't even know what they are getting themselves into politically. So I just thought it was a whole big, ugly, treasonous thing. And I hate the United States on the fact that this is all put together as if it's disguised as if it's just to ensure that the government has enough money to function and keep running. The government isn't supposed to be dysfunctional and running. The only thing that the government needed to do was make sure that there were an adequate number of bodies coming from each area that were going to understand and provide the protections that the people required. There's no other function other than that. We didn't need these motherfuckers to go out and hunt and gather food. We don't need them to do that. What they're doing is securing profits. That's not their fucking job. Their job is either to do the accounting, or their job is to make sure that the areas are safe so that the business can be conducted. It's not to create business and conduct it themselves. All of these people living inside of these houses should be spaced a whole lot further apart, and they should have their own land and space and their own communities where they are creating the food and whatever objects need to be, or either creating the businesses that are shipping the products back and forth so that they can be sold and distributed throughout the lands. That's their only fucking function. Nobody asked them to go and fucking make war. Nobody asked them to go and start charging people for taxes and all the other shit. All of that works itself out. Nobody needed to do any of that. The streets and shit, guess what? If you live in an area and you are proud of who you are and what you project, then you will make sure that streets are as necessary for travel, for safe travel. And that's it. And that is how you separate yourselves and you're distinct. What they have done is tried to whitewash everything and make everything indistinct. So you don't know what anything is. That's why nobody has any identities and there's no culture anymore. So anyway, I don't know, like I was trying to say is just, this is the most important reading that I think there really, really is. Honestly, if my son was small again, if he was young, I wouldn't have him going to elementary school. He would be at home and he would be reading this, literally this. I wouldn't care that people thought he was too young for it, because guess what? You learn your environment. And that's how it was always meant to be. You learn your environment, your day-to-day life. You will just learn what there is to be done. Why do people think that their kids are stupid? Because they get up and they leave their kids every day and they go off to someplace else that doesn't benefit them. It benefits somebody else's glory, but it doesn't benefit them. And they come home and they're too tired to interact with their kids, so they haven't taught their children anything, and they think that the school system taught them, but the Brown Board of Education, their mission statement says, we are not here to teach you anything. So then when you realize that the word education is how they train animals, then you realize why you think your children are brain dead. Because their minds haven't been actively engaged. And that ultimately is the fault of each one of us, because none of us decided that we should actually know what was going on. We just thought that, all right, well, we'll just go with the flow. Well, it looks one thing, but you don't really know, like that really, really calm water that's flowing looks so very calm and peaceful on top, but you don't understand that underneath, that pretty little swirl that you see on top is because there is a tidal wave going on underneath. And that's some horrible. So that's what happens when you are just trying to go with the flow. Like you get out there and you think, hey, I'm coasting, and you get sucked in. And that's what this system is designed to do. It really is. So I guess that's all I really wanted to say. Let me go find me some heat. And I hope that people take it upon themselves to read I hope that people at least reclassify yourself so you can't get used by the system. And as you're reading, please start to identify the things that are for you and the things that are not for you, and understand that whatever whomever said about this Black Lives Matter, that's a fallacy. And I don't care whose leader told you anything, preachers are lies. They are. If they have that 501c3, I'm a preacher kind of thing, they're lies. I know there are a whole lot of people that are just kind of pulling a little congregation together here and there. And I don't mean to badmouth you all, because you all didn't go to seminary school. You didn't read all the rules. You don't really know what's going on. A lot of y'all are lost. Maybe you think the 501c3 is just how you don't have to pay the taxes, but you don't realize what you're trading off when you're not paying the taxes. And you don't realize what you're trading off when you didn't read how and why and what the taxes are. Because honestly, all of the USC is the whole everything. It's more than just taxes. It's so much more. It just tells you everything. It tells you how the healthcare industry is laid out. It tells you how the business industry is laid out. It tells you how industry is laid out. It tells you everything. And in all of that telling, each one of those things is telling you that you are each one of those things. And as those, you think just the ground and the earth is being manipulated, you don't realize that you are the ground, you are the earth. You are the grounding. You are the grounded. You are supposed to be providing all of the substance to the earth. You know, the plants, the trees, the earth, the water, the grass, the roots. You're all of that. And it has identified you as such. And it took me to read it to understand how literally their identification is so basic and honest and perfected in its description. And all of that in its beauty is so disgusting, how you're just a resource. And it's really more disgusting when I realize that we actively, purposely hear that this is a necessary read and then we don't do it. Now, I know this, and I say this because I thought a long time ago I should have gone to law school. And then I thought, probably 10 years ago that I should have started doing this reading. Not because I knew that this was what it was. It was just because my life is getting banged back and forth between finances and little caveats of legal issues. Nothing serious, but still, like little traffic, and they want $1,000 from you. Like, what the fuck? And then a little, oh, well, you missed a payment here and a payment there, so now we want to penalize you and making you pay more money. And it's just like, if I don't have the first money, what the fuck do you think I get the second money for? So these little things start pissing you off, and you want to read the instructions and you want to find out really how to get it done for real, but you think that you can put it off and wait because you think it's not a big deal. But you don't realize you putting it off and waiting just costs you another $80,000 this year. Because you spent that much and you didn't, oh, I spent more than that much, but you didn't even know that you didn't have to spend it. You didn't even know that as soon as you spent it, it was going to jump right back in your pocket. You don't even know that stress that you put forth for, I don't know, 3 weeks out of every year to try to get your taxes done, to try to gather all the information. You don't know that that's not your stress to carry, because that job gets done once you're classified properly, because you're no longer one of these employees, but you're a person who the system is beholden to. So there's so much stress that we bring into our lives when we don't know this. There's so much stress that we pass on to our children, to our loved ones, to our family, when we don't know this. And we just got to know, because it it gives you back your life. All of that stress and chaos and crazy that we feel because we feel like we don't have enough, or we need more, or we need to do more, or it's just lies. It really is just ugliness and stress. And honestly, the world is just open to us if we don't have that chaos, those lies, that ugliness, that stress. Like, if I had known this 10 years ago when my mind first started saying, girl, read this, read this, read this. If I had simply sat down and read before this whole Donald Trump mess came into office, heck, I would have known not to vote for Obama that second time. I would have known to go get my blasted money before he created those edge corporations. I would have known that I could have taken my butt around the world and just traveled and just had have fun and hung out. I would have known all of this. I would have known not to let my son go wherever he went off to explore life. I would have known not to do any of this participation with any of this ignorance. Oh my goodness, the things, the stresses that I could have avoided. So anyway, at the end of the day, just read it so you can just enjoy your life. Don't let these people take anything else from you. Don't let these liars have any more control. Know how to take that mask off and tell them to fuck off. For real. Like, just tell them, no, I'm not going to put up with this lawless crap just because you want some fucking Asians to move in next door. Fuck you. Fuck you and fuck them Asians too. Hell, China to go to hell. China can go to hell. So, I'm not down with this whole mass takeover, especially now that I know that I'm Egypt. Fuck that. Fuck everything, all of that. So, yeah. And when you start reading this too, you're going to run across some information where you're going to see that they were straight up barring China. When this stuff got written in 50 and 52, because I think it was 52 when they put this out. In 52, when they put this out, they were like, no China, no, 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 on every level, no China. How the fuck they all of a sudden got China everywhere when the law still says no fucking China? That's what I want to know. I mean, and once you start asking yourselves these questions, and then while you're asking yourself these questions, if you are looking over across the way and you're looking at these damn politicians and you're saying, motherfucker, how the fuck you got us with all these deals with China? Then you're going to know who the treasonous motherfuckers are. Shit. And hell, they going to let you know that they treasonous. They telling you all up and through. So go and read, and peace.